How many of you have ever been disrespected, whether at work, in relationships, or by people who don't even matter? Yeah, we've all been there. And what's the first instinct? To fire back, to defend yourself, to prove your worth. But let me tell you something. True power isn't in reacting. It's in staying in control. Because the moment you react, you give them control over you. But when you stay quiet, when you refuse to engage in their negativity, you own the moment. You show them that their words have no power over you. That is real strength. When someone disrespects you, your instinct might be to react instantly, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong, to fire back with words that match their energy. It's a natural response because we are wired to protect our dignity, to make sure others don't walk all over us. But here's the truth. Reacting immediately and emotionally is exactly what they want. Disrespect is often a tool, a test, or even a trap. When someone belittles you, mocks you, or speaks to you in a way meant to undermine your confidence, what they're really doing is trying to control your emotions. And the moment you react, you've handed them that control. You've let their words dictate your energy, your focus, and your state of mind. That's not power, that's giving power away. True power comes from mastering your response, from understanding that silence is not weakness, it's control, it's discipline. It's a statement that says, you don't get to decide how I feel. You don't get to pull me into your chaos. Think of the most influential and respected people in the world. Do they react emotionally to every bit of negativity thrown their way? No, they choose their battles. They understand that engaging with small-minded disrespect only lowers them to a level where nothing productive happens. Silence in those moments is an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that your energy is too valuable to waste on petty conflicts. But let's be clear, silence is not about avoiding confrontation when it's necessary. It's about knowing when to engage and when to walk away. If someone disrespects you in a way that requires a response, silence gives you time to craft a response that is intentional, measured, and powerful. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond strategically. Instead of escalating the conflict, you control the narrative. There's also a psychological effect to silence. When you don't react to disrespect, the person on the other end is forced to sit with their own words. They don't get the satisfaction of knowing they affected you. They don't get confirmation that their attempt to provoke you worked. And often, that makes them uncomfortable. They start to question themselves. They wonder if they've miscalculated, if their words didn't land the way they intended. In some cases, silence even earns you respect. People recognize restraint. They see it as a sign of emotional intelligence, of someone who operates on a higher level, and that's exactly the kind of presence you want to cultivate. One that commands respect without needing to demand it. At the end of the day, your energy is one of your most valuable assets. Where you focus it, how you use it, and what you allow to disrupt it all determine the quality of your life. If you spend it reacting to every moment of disrespect, you are constantly playing defense instead of building the life, the career, and the relationships you truly want. So next time someone disrespects you, remember this: power is in the pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that their words do not define you, and most importantly, don't let their negativity pull you out of your state of control. Stay quiet, stay focused, and when you do respond, do it in a way that serves you, not them. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage both your own emotions and the emotions of others. When someone disrespects you, your ability to stay composed and not react impulsively is a direct reflection of your emotional intelligence. Many people believe that responding immediately and aggressively to disrespect is a sign of strength, but in reality, it often shows a lack of control. A person who reacts without thinking allows their emotions to dictate their behavior, and that gives power to the one who triggered the reaction. Imagine you are in a heated discussion and someone insults you or undermines your point of view. If you immediately lash out, you have just allowed that person to control the flow of the conversation. They set the tone, and you followed their lead. Now, instead of discussing ideas or making a meaningful point, the focus has shifted to emotions, defensiveness, and ego. Nothing productive comes from that. But if you remain calm, pause, and decide not to engage in their negativity, you completely shift the power dynamic. They no longer have the ability to push you into an emotional state where you act irrationally. The difference between those who succeed in life and those who struggle often comes down to emotional control. People who master their emotions don't allow disrespect or negativity to consume their mental space. They understand that their energy is finite and they refuse to waste it on things that don't serve their growth. Emotional intelligence is what allows you to see beyond the moment and think strategically. Instead of reacting to every insult or attack, you recognize when silence is the best response. Another key aspect of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. When you understand your own triggers and emotional patterns, you gain the ability to stop yourself before reacting negatively. This self-awareness allows you to assess the situation logically rather than emotionally. You start asking yourself, is this worth my energy? Will responding add value to my life, or will it only escalate the situation? More often than not, the answer is clear: silence is the best choice. Emotional intelligence is also about understanding the intentions of others. Sometimes people disrespect you not because they genuinely dislike you, but because they want a reaction. They thrive on seeing you upset, frustrated, or angry. When you give them what they want, you reinforce their behavior. But when you refuse to engage, when you stay calm and composed, you deny them the satisfaction. Over time, this discourages people from attempting to provoke you because they know it won't work. This skill is particularly valuable in leadership, business, and personal relationships. Great leaders don't get rattled by every criticism or challenge thrown their way. They listen, assess, and respond only when necessary. They don't waste energy proving their worth to people who don't matter. They understand that the strongest people are not those who speak the loudest, but those who know when to remain silent. In your personal life, emotional intelligence can save you from unnecessary conflict and stress. Arguments with friends, family, or colleagues often escalate because both parties feel the need to have the last word. But when you understand that not every battle is worth fighting, you gain a sense of peace. You don't engage in every debate, and you don't let the negativity of others dictate your emotions. At its core, emotional intelligence is about choice. The choice to stay in control rather than being controlled. It's about recognizing that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on meaningless conflicts. So the next time someone disrespects you, take a deep breath. Instead of reacting instantly, ask yourself, what outcome do I want from this situation? More often than not, the best response is no response at all. You walk away with your dignity intact, your energy preserved, and your power undisturbed. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you have when dealing with disrespect. It may seem counterintuitive because in moments of conflict, the natural instinct is to defend yourself, to respond, to prove a point. But what most people don't realize is that when you stay quiet, you shift the balance of power. Disrespect is often an attempt to provoke you, to get a reaction. When someone says something hurtful or demeaning, they want to see you react emotionally. They want to know they've gotten under your skin. But when you don't give them that satisfaction, when you remain composed, they are left with nothing but their own words hanging in the air. That's when silence becomes a mirror. It forces them to sit with what they just said. It makes them question themselves. It creates discomfort. Imagine a situation where someone insults you in front of others, expecting a heated reaction. But instead of engaging, you simply look at them, say nothing, and move on. That moment of silence is powerful. It creates an awkwardness and unease and forces the other person to reflect on what they just did. When there's no reaction to feed off, they're left to deal with their own negativity. Over time, this strategy discourages them from attempting to provoke you again. Silence also reveals the true nature of people. When you don't react immediately, you give yourself space to observe. You see who truly respects you and who only seeks to manipulate you. When you stay quiet, people's true intentions become clearer because you're not caught up in an emotional back and forth. Instead, you can assess the situation with a level head, deciding if the person in question is even worth your time and energy. There's another reason why silence is so effective. It shifts the pressure back onto the person who disrespected you. Most people expect a reaction. They are used to conflict escalating when they push the right buttons. But when you don't engage, they don't know what to do next. Their words lose their weight. They realize that their attempt to control the situation through disrespect has failed. This approach is particularly effective in professional environments. In business, there will always be moments where someone tries to undermine you, whether it's a colleague questioning your ideas, a boss speaking to you with condescension, or a client being unnecessarily rude. If you react emotionally, you risk damaging your credibility. But if you stay quiet, composed, and unshaken, you maintain the upper hand. People respect those who don't get rattled easily. They see you as someone who operates on a higher level. Silence also plays a crucial role in personal relationships. Sometimes people say things in the heat of the moment that they don't truly mean. Instead of firing back, staying quiet gives them a chance to reflect. Often they will realize their mistake without you having to say a word. It's in those quiet moments that people start to question their own actions. They feel the weight of what they said, and sometimes that's all it takes for them to regret their words. There's an art to using silence effectively. It's not about avoiding necessary conversations or letting people walk over you. It's about knowing when a response is productive and when silence is more powerful. It's about recognizing that not every battle is worth fighting and that sometimes the best way to win is by refusing to engage in negativity. The key is to remain in control. When you choose to be silent, you are not submitting, you are asserting dominance over the situation. You are making it clear that you decide how you react, not the other person. You are choosing to operate from a place of strength rather than insecurity. So the next time someone disrespects you, take a pause. Let their words hang in the air. Watch as they start to fidget, as they realize their attempt to provoke you didn't work. Let them sit with their own negativity, because in that moment, silence becomes the most powerful response you can give. Your energy is one of the most valuable things you have. It determines how you think, how you feel, and ultimately the results you get in life. But here's the problem. Most people waste their energy on things that don't serve them. They spend it on arguments that don't matter, on trying to prove themselves to people who don't care, and on reacting to every little act of disrespect that comes their way. Think about the last time someone disrespected you. Maybe they made a rude comment, dismissed your ideas, or tried to belittle you. What did you do? Did you spend the rest of the day thinking about it, replaying the moment in your head, coming up with all the things you should have said? Did it steal your focus from more important things? That's the cost of engaging in unnecessary conflict. It drains your energy, distracts you, and pulls you away from the things that actually matter. The truth is, not everything deserves your response. Not every insult, every criticism, or every act of disrespect is worth your time. When you react to every little thing, you are constantly giving away your energy to people who don't deserve it. And the more you do that, the less energy you have for the things that actually move your life forward, your goals, your growth, and your success. Successful people understand this. They don't waste time on meaningless battles. They don't let negativity pull them down. They know that their energy is a resource that must be protected. That's why they choose their responses carefully. They don't react out of impulse. They respond with intention. And sometimes, the best response is silence. Silence is not about weakness. It's about control. It's about recognizing that your energy is too valuable to waste on people who are trying to bring you down. When you stay quiet in the face of disrespect, you are making a powerful statement. I refuse to let you control my emotions. I refuse to let you steal my focus. I refuse to let you drain my energy. Now, this doesn't mean you should let people walk all over you. There are times when you need to stand up for yourself. But the key is knowing when to engage and when to let things go. If someone's words or actions are truly affecting your life, then address it, but do it on your terms, not out of emotional reaction. Respond when it benefits you, not when it benefits them. Think about professional settings. If a colleague disrespects you in a meeting, what's more powerful? Firing back with an emotional response or staying composed and handling the situation in a way that protects your reputation and maintains your authority? Emotional reactions can damage credibility. Staying quiet in the moment gives you the space to respond later with intelligence and strength. The same applies to personal relationships. If a friend or family member says something hurtful, you have a choice. You can react instantly, escalating the situation into a heated argument, or you can step back, protect your energy, and decide how to address it in a way that leads to resolution instead of unnecessary conflict. There is incredible power in choosing where to invest your energy. Every time you engage in pointless battles, you are taking time and focus away from your growth. You are giving your energy to something that doesn't serve you. But when you choose to stay quiet, to walk away, or to respond with intention rather than emotion, you reclaim that power. You keep your energy for yourself and for the things that truly matter. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their negativity, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will engaging in this help me grow, succeed, or improve my life? If the answer is no, then let it go, stay quiet, move forward. Because your energy is too valuable to waste on people who don't deserve it. Self-worth is not something that needs to be proven to others. It's something you carry within you, something unshakable, something that remains constant regardless of how people treat you. But too often, people fall into the trap of thinking they need to defend their worth every time they are challenged or disrespected. They feel the urge to explain themselves, to fight back, to prove that they are valuable. The truth is, if you truly know your worth, you don't need to convince anyone of it. When someone disrespects you, it can feel personal. It can trigger that deep need for validation, the urge to make sure others see you the way you want to be seen. But here's the reality. How someone treats you is a reflection of them, not you. Their words and actions come from their own mindset, their own insecurities, their own need to feel superior. And if you react to every bit of disrespect, you're allowing their perception of you to dictate how you feel about yourself. That's not power. That's giving control over your emotions to someone who doesn't deserve it. True confidence means understanding that your value isn't determined by how others see you. It's determined by how you see yourself. And the more secure you are in who you are, the less you feel the need to respond to negativity. You don't have to argue with people who try to belittle you. You don't have to prove yourself to those who don't appreciate you. You don't have to fight for respect from those who refuse to give it. Instead, you let your actions speak. You let your success, your integrity, and your presence do the talking. Think about the people you admire the most, the ones who carry themselves with quiet confidence, who don't waste time on petty arguments, who don't get flustered by criticism or negativity. They are the ones who understand their worth. They know that engaging in unnecessary conflict doesn't serve them. They recognize that their time and energy are better spent on growth, progress, and meaningful conversation. And because of that, they command respect without ever having to demand it. The moment you stop seeking validation from others, you gain an incredible amount of freedom. You're no longer controlled by what people say or think about you. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself every time someone doubts you. You stop reacting to disrespect because you know it doesn't define you. You start making decisions based on what serves your future, not based on how to prove yourself to someone who doesn't matter. One of the greatest lessons in life is understanding that not everyone will see your value. And that's okay. Your worth is not dependent on their recognition. Some people will misunderstand you. Some will underestimate you. Some will try to bring you down just to make themselves feel more powerful. But none of that changes who you are. The best response to disrespect is not always words. Sometimes the best response is silence. Sometimes the best response is walking away. And sometimes the best response is simply succeeding beyond what they ever thought possible. There is nothing more powerful than proving people wrong, not through argument, but through action. So the next time someone tries to belittle you, ask yourself, do I really need to respond? Do I really need to explain myself? Do I really need to waste my time proving my worth to someone who doesn't see it? If the answer is no, then let it go. Keep moving forward. Let your confidence be so unshakable that their words become meaningless. Because the truth is, people who truly know their worth don't chase validation. They don't fight for approval. They don't seek recognition from those who don't appreciate them. They simply continue being who they are, knowing that the right people will recognize it, and those who don't were never important to begin with. One of the most important lessons in life is understanding the difference between short-term reactions and long-term results. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to get caught up in the moment, to react emotionally, to fire back with words that match their negativity. But what does that accomplish? Does it make you stronger? Does it change their opinion? Does it elevate your position? Most of the time, the answer is no. Reacting to disrespect often leads to more conflict, more wasted energy, and more emotional drain. But when you take a step back and choose silence instead, you position yourself for long-term success. Silence is not about weakness or avoidance. It's about thinking beyond the present moment and making decisions that serve your bigger goals. When you react emotionally, you give someone else control over your state of mind. But when you remain quiet, when you stay composed, you send a powerful message. I don't operate at your level. I choose my battles. I am focused on things far greater than this moment. That level of restraint is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck in cycles of conflict. In life, there will always be people who try to test you, belittle you, or pull you into their negativity. Some do it out of insecurity. Some do it because they thrive on conflict. Some do it because they want to see if they can control you. If you react every time, you're playing into their hands. But if you stay silent, if you refuse to engage, you starve them of the reaction they're looking for, and eventually they stop. There's a psychological power in silence that most people don't realize. When you don't react, the other person is left with their own words. They have to sit with what they just said without your energy feeding into it. They may start to second guess themselves. They may wonder why their words didn't affect you. They may even feel embarrassed for trying to provoke you in the first place. Silence forces people to deal with their own negativity. It reflects their behavior back at them without giving them an excuse to justify it. This principle is especially important in professional settings. There will be moments in your career when a colleague undermines you, when a boss speaks to you with condescension, when someone challenges your intelligence or capabilities. If you react emotionally, you risk damaging your reputation. But if you stay quiet, you maintain control. You gain the upper hand, not by fighting back, but by refusing to be pulled into unnecessary drama. Later, when the time is right, you can respond in a way that is strategic, professional, and beneficial to your long-term goals. The same applies to personal relationships. In moments of conflict, silence can be a tool for clarity. It gives you space to think before you speak, to determine whether the issue is worth your energy, and to respond in a way that leads to resolution rather than escalation. People who are emotionally reactive often regret the things they say in anger, but those who practice restraint have the ability to navigate conflict with intelligence and strength. Choosing silence doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means being intentional about how and when you respond. It means understanding that not every battle is worth fighting, that not every insult requires a reaction, and that sometimes the best way to win is by refusing to play the game. It's about keeping your eyes on the bigger picture, your growth, your success, your peace of mind. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, pause, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, does this moment deserve my energy? Will responding serve my goals, or is staying quiet the most powerful move I can make? More often than not, silence will be your greatest ally. It allows you to stay in control, to protect your energy, and to focus on what truly matters. Because in the end, success is not about reacting to every bit of negativity, it's about rising above it.